'Cause I was born to love you. I feel it now. Oh. Hey. What? You don't know what I was just singing just then? Well, check this out. Now, in case you didn't notice, that was the brand spanking new Oddworld New and Tasty trailer for E3 2014, which kicks into gear this coming Monday. That's tomorrow. Huh. Now, I figured that this time next week, we're gonna have a whole boatload of new information and footage to check out of the game, so I thought I'd make this video to sum up all the latest bits and bobs, screens, and of course, the trailer you've just seen. This is Oziah's Oddworld's new and tasty pre-E3 Roundup! Whoa! Yeah! Okay, I have a lot to cover, so I'm gonna try my best not to dilly-dally like normal and just get down to business, okay? In this broadcast, here's what I'm gonna be talking about. The E3 trailer. Comparison shots recently released by Oddworld Inhabitants. The recently released GIFs on the Oddworld forums. And a roundup of new mechanics and major aesthetic changes that we have seen so far. Okay, sound good? Well, let's get going then. Let's start off with that trailer. It looks great, obviously, and more polished than we've ever seen it before. It showcases a number of significant moments from the story, such as Abe's journey to the Scrabanian Temple, the annual board meeting with Moloch the Glutton, and Abe's vision of the wild creatures of Oddworld. Now, if you remember how this scene played out in Abe's Odyssey, you can see how it's been changed for new and tasty. You gotta love those ghost grabs and paramites, don't you? So visually, it looks great, totally stunning. But one thing you may have noticed was the song that was played over the top of the footage. I feel it now. Now, according to Oddworld Inhabitants, this song was made by a dedicated fan, and they have decided to put it not only in this trailer, but during the game's end credit sequence too. Whilst I think the song is great by itself, and the lady singer has an incredible voice that almost competes with my own, I personally feel it's a strange choice for the end credit sequence to an Oddworld game. According to much of the feedback to the trailer that I've seen, many others feel the same way. So, we'll see what happens with that. Right Alright then, let's move swiftly on to comparisons and GIFs. Yeah, Oddworld Inhabitants has been releasing a series of images comparing the original version of the game with new and tasty. Alongside these, they've also been sneaking out some GIFs of the locations for the series fanatics over on the Oddworld forums. This is Rupture Farms. Okay, cool, looks great. The portal and the mechanical lift are the most obvious distinctions between the two, I think. And actually, here is the GIF that shows exactly how the portal functions in New and Tasty. Instead of two glowing orbs opening up like in Odyssey, it seems the bird portal transforms into a circle of levitating wood and rock, which houses the portal opening in the center. It's definitely different, but hey, this is a remake after all. Comparison 2 is the stockyards. And actually, there is no GIF for this one, unfortunately. Main differences here seem to be the amount of depth at the foot of the camera in New and Tasty, with those old trap cages lying around, for example. Plus, the lighting seems to be fairly brighter in this than in Abe's Odyssey, and as you'll soon see, that appears to be a common trait in these images. The Free Fire Zone is next, looking super slick, and though a little less spooky than in the original, it's still very atmospheric. And we can see that in the following GIF. Wowzers! I'm really loving the look of that scrolling camera now! Okay, so here we have the Mosaic lines. Again, it's brighter and more vivid, but it looks just fantastic, don't it? And look! 2 handstones! What could the second one possibly say? Very exciting. There are actually 2 Mosaic lines GIFs, although they apparently come from a slightly older build than what we'll actually be seeing at E3. Here's the first, depicting Abe at the entrance. The second is a little deeper into the caves, where Abe is using a rope lift to reach the first set of bells we ever have to use. Cool! Paramonia! Yeah! And it's Abe ringing a bell. It sure looks a lot more epic in scale than in the original game from 1997, and due to that dynamic camera, we can really get a much better sense of how high up Abe is on that platform. Where's the GIF, I hear you asking? Why, it's here! And this is perhaps the most interesting GIF of all of them. Mainly because, well, look at the birds that flock above Abe's head when he chants. Some sort of health regeneration or something? Well, that's what it looks like to me. Anyway, here's the last comparison image I have for you. No GIF on this one, though, sadly. There's some debate on the Oddworld forums about whether the pyramids have been made smaller in New and Tasty or not. At first, I thought they had, but now I'm of the opinion that it's just the scale according to the camera's distance. But what do you think? Okay, so that covers the media side of things, I suppose. But for this last part, I really just want to talk about the changes we have seen so far that have been made to New and Tasty. First off, changes that affect gameplay. Over the course of my other videos, I've mentioned a few of these, but here are the main ones I know about so far. Number 1, the moving camera, obviously. Number 2, enemy vision cones, most likely put in due to the nature of said scrolling camera. Number 3, some type of health system. Although nobody truly knows how this will work yet, it seems that there is definitely a health mechanic going off in some of the things we've seen. When Abe gets shot, for example, he may lose a bird which he can then replace by chanting, as seen in that GIF I showed you. That's pure speculation at the moment, but there is gonna undoubtedly be something like that present in New and Tasty. That being said, team members at JAW have hinted at a hard mode available for hardcore fans. Will this bring back the one-hit kills we all know and love? Well, hopefully. Number 4, quick save. Well, we've known that quick save would be in the game for a while now, but just how much easier will it make the game become? Who knows? Number 5, a checkpoint system. Now this is only a guess, but it seems that these signs may indicate an activated checkpoint. Well, like with a lot of the other stuff, we'll just have to wait and see. Number 6, an aiming arc when throwing objects. This is understandable since the game now takes place in a 3D world. There'd be too much trial and error without a way of knowing where the rock or grenade is roughly gonna land, I think. So, this is a good thing. And number 7, multiple Meducans following Abe. This will speed up the game significantly, although I believe there will be features in place to counteract this. So there are the main mechanical changes I can think of right now, but how about aesthetic changes? Well, sure enough, there are a good few of those too. One of which has actually turned into a major discussion on the Oddworld forums, and I'll save that for last. So then, number 1, the portals. They're vastly different. A lot more representative of Abe's chancing power, perhaps. Number 2, electric lifts. Certain areas, such as Rupture Farms, have electric elevators now as opposed to rope lifts. This makes far more sense, really. Rope lifts are fine for the wilderness, but a factory as huge as Rupture Farms would likely have electric lifts. Number 3, whistle notes. Now, whether this will affect gameplay in any way still remains to be seen, but this shot showed us a small new visual cue added to the GameSpeak whistle sounds. What do you think? Number 4, motion sensors on rails. According to Just Add Water, this change will not affect gameplay whatsoever. It occurred because light beams within the 3D world did not work as well as they did in the 2D plane of Odyssey. Hopefully they'll still make that classic motion sensor boing and fuzzing noise. I love that. Number 5, lights on interactive objects. This seems to have been put in place so that a player can distinguish what in the environment can be interacted with. For example, we have the lights on the levers, the trapdoors, the handstones, and the pull rings. This will be a handy visual aid for new players. And finally, the big one. The most significant aesthetic change witnessed so far, in my opinion. The Rupture Farms exterior. In Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, here's how the factory looked during the opening cutscene. Oh, it was grim, fearsome, dark, and the very epitome of industrialization. Now here it is, new and tasty. Still huge and dominating, but much more sleek, technologically advanced, and colorful. This change has been a hot topic amongst certain fans. My own opinion? Well, the new design is great. It fits in with the architecture of Munch's Odyssey buildings such as Flub Fuels and Splinters, and it still looks really cool. But this one from Odyssey, this is the sole image I associate with Oddworld. It is what I envision when I think of the whole nature versus industry theme within the series. I love it because it's the first thing we ever saw within an Oddworld game. And because of that, it sort of saddens me a little that there has been such a visual change. Part of me questions why it was even necessary. But, on the other hand, this is a remake, so really I should just shut up whining and get playing the original if I ever want to see that Rupture Farms again. This new one fits the bill perfectly against all the other changes made for New and Tasty, and at the end of the day, it only appears for a few seconds. And it looks cool anyway, so... I'm gonna shut up now. Well, that marks the end of my pre-E3 roundup. Only one more thing to say, really. At some point within the next day, if Oddworld Inhabitants keep their word, we'll be getting a release date. Finally! So, stay tuned to the official Oddworld Facebook page, or just check back with Oziah tomorrow or something when it should be announced. And hey, get ready for an odd-tastic E3. See you there!